Welcome back, dreamer. Tonight, beneath a shimmering sky, a bear cub learns what it feels like to be safely tucked in by the night itself in Aurora's blanket. North of the noisy towns, where snow hushes even the loudest footstep, a bear cub named Lark peered from the den. The night wore river green and pink and a skein of soft gold. The northern lights sewing their way across everything. Lark worried about big things, the stretch of the dark, the distance to spring, the way the wind could make trees talk too loudly. But under the lights, the world looked held. The colors shifted like someone turning pages very quietly. Lark's mother breathed slow, a metronome of safety. "What is it?" Lark whispered. "The sky is tucking us in," she said, which was not a scientific answer, but was completely true. Lark lay back against her mother's warmth. The snow squeaked politely under them. Above, the Aurora folded and unfolded a blanket so wide it covered every worry Lark could name. She matched her breath to the colors. In with green, out with rose, a small pause under the gold. Sleep came like a friend who knows where the extra blankets are kept. The den glowed softly, the world dimmed to a kind promise. Somewhere, ice shifted with the careful sound of a book being closed for now. Good evening, dreamers. Tonight's tale is Finn and the River of Choices. Follow Finn along a shimmering river that reflects every decision he makes, and discover the gentle power of responsibility and integrity. Lay back, relax, and let the currents carry you. Finn was a boy who lived on the banks of a winding river that gleamed like liquid silver under the moon. The river was special. It reflected not only the sky above, but also the choices of anyone who approached it. One evening, Finn found a small pouch of gold lying at the edge. He knew they were someone else's. When he looked into the river, it shimmered with possibilities. Take the coins and live in comfort, or return them and risk disappointment from his family, who had long struggled. Finn's reflection in the water showed him both paths. On one side, he saw himself smiling alone, wealthy but lonely. On the other hand, he saw himself returning the pouch, and his eyes met those of the rightful owner, a weary merchant who smiled with gratitude. The boy hesitated. The river whispered, not in words, but in currents and ripples. Every choice leaves a trace, it seemed to say. Choose wisely. Finn swallowed hard and carried the coins back to the merchant. The man's eyes lit up. "Thank you, young one. Many would have kept it, but you returned it." He handed Finn a single coin anyway, not as payment, but as acknowledgement of courage. That night, Finn looked into the river again. His reflection shimmered brighter, stronger, as if the river itself approved. He realized something important then. True wealth is measured by integrity, not gold, and the choices we make ripple further than we will ever be able to see. From that day forward, whenever Finn faced difficult decisions, he would sit by the river, letting it remind him that responsibility and honesty were worth far more than any fleeting reward. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a little girl named Luna. Luna had a very special secret. She could see clouds in ways no one else could. To her, clouds weren't just puffs of white. They were gardens floating high above the earth, full of color, life, and magic. Every night, Luna would climb the old oak tree in her backyard and look up at the sky. There she would watch the clouds drift and change shape. Some looked like sparkling rivers, others like enormous castles, and a few even had tiny glowing flowers growing inside. Luna loved visiting these cloud gardens in her imagination. But one night, something extraordinary happened. As the sun dipped behind the hills, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold, Luna noticed a cloud that shimmered differently than the others. It glowed a soft silver light, and from it came the faint sound of laughter. Tiny musical giggles that made her heart flutter. Without thinking, she climbed higher than ever, reaching for the cloud. To her surprise, as her fingers brushed it, the cloud began to descend. It was soft and springy beneath her feet, and before she knew it, Luna was walking inside a garden made entirely of clouds. The wispy paths led past glowing flowers, fluffy bushes, and silver-tipped trees that swayed like they had their own rhythm. Tiny cloud creatures peeked out from behind petals. Some had wings, some had little twinkling eyes, and all of them smiled at her as if they had been expecting her. "Welcome, Luna," said a small voice. Luna looked down and saw a creature no taller than her knee, with a coat made entirely of mist and eyes like morning dew. "I'm Nimbus, the guardian of the cloud garden. We've been waiting for someone like you to visit." Luna gasped. "But why me?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Because," said Nimbus, hopping onto a cloud petal, "you see the magic in places where others only see white sky. You believe, and that is rare indeed." For hours, or maybe it was just minutes, time felt different there. Luna wandered the cloud garden. She tasted dewdrops that made her giggle with delight, watched flowers bloom in slow motion, and even danced with tiny sprites under a silver moon that hung low in the sky. Each step felt like floating, and each breath tasted like dreams. Before she knew it, a gentle wind began to sway the clouds. "It's time to return," Nimbus said softly, "but take this with you." He handed Luna a small silver seed, glowing faintly in her palm. "Plant this in your heart," he whispered. "Whenever you need courage, joy, or peace, it will bloom. And remember, the cloud garden is always up there, waiting for you." Luna nodded and stepped onto a path that slowly carried her back to her backyard oak tree. The night air smelled of jasmine and rain, and when she climbed down, the village was quiet and still, wrapped in moonlight. Clutching the glowing seed, Luna felt a warmth inside her chest, as if the magic of the cloud garden had settled there forever. From that night on, whenever Luna felt afraid, lonely, or unsure, she would close her eyes and imagine the silver seed in her heart, and suddenly the gardens of the clouds would bloom inside her mind. And though no one else could see them, she knew their magic was real, and that sometimes believing is all it takes to make the world a little more wonderful. As Luna drifted off to sleep each night, she carried the whisper of the cloud garden with her, soft as a lullaby, gentle as a cloud, until dreams wrapped her in their own magic. Tonight's story carries us on a hammock through starlit skies to a garden that floats above the world. Flowers bloom in the air, whispering secrets of kindness and joy. Settle into your comfort, dreamer. Breathe with ease and let Marigold's adventure lift you into the night. Marigold was a bright-eyed girl who loved swinging on her hammock in the backyard. One night, as she drifted off, the hammock lifted into the sky, carrying her to a garden of floating flowers. Each flower hovered in mid-air, petals sparkling, leaves twirling, as if they had their own rhythm. A soft breeze guided her through the garden. Tiny creatures peeked out from the blooms, glowing bees, hummingbirds with silver wings, and butterflies that shimmered like starlight. Each flower whispered a secret about kindness, gratitude, or courage. Marigold laughed, danced, and learned, feeling light as air as the hammock carried her higher into the sky. The garden seemed endless, but the magic was gentle, never overwhelming. When dawn approached, Marigold floated back to her backyard, the soft glow of the floating flowers lingering in her heart. Each day, she remembered their lessons and carried their magic into the world, smiling at strangers, helping friends, and finding joy in the simple things. The end. The garden drifts from view, but its magic lingers, bright, soft, and kind. May your dreams tonight be filled with color and light, carrying you gently toward morning.